I'll go over tips, some takeaways, and recommendations later. So as far as tip number one, the first thing is to make sure you know the data, review your data thoroughly, understand what's inside, what are the common fields amongst the data, and whether if you're going to combine the data, make sure basically you pay attention to detail, what's inside the data that you need to utilize or add additional field to make the data uh, be able to be combined using a tool, Union tool, for example. The other thing is know the metadata. Make sure you have all the fields, the type that you need, and where are you going to be using them down the line. Make sure they are carrying the same type of data type that you need for processing. The other thing is make sure you break down step the workflows into manageable sections, input data and all the data transformations that you're going to make, and output, final output. So the next thing is to understand what the output is, what you are required to perform in this workflow production, and work your way backwards. If you know what the requirement is, you'll be able to, look ahead from the beginning and try to assign and carry over the fields that you need, and also do the processes along the way. In this particular case, there is a review that we need to do for a company that has they need to review their large order transactions uh, that are above 3 times the standard deviation, above average total order. So that means we have to group by order. So as we summarize the data that comes in, we have to make sure that we're going to be grouping by order ID at some point. So it's important to keep in mind with that. The rest, as I mentioned, is step by step. Make sure you have all your annotations written so the next person can follow through what you've done and continue with the workflow. Another important tip is to make sure all your input files as well as output files are stored in the same location and relative to your directory so that they can be opened by the next person easily when they open the workflow. To do that, go to options, as advanced options, workflow dependencies, and all open files have relative to your dependency relative to the directory. To do that, just make sure you have all relative clicked and okayed. So same thing for the output file. The other important information is along the way, just review the data using a browse tool to see what kind of information you can get. You can get a lot of information uh, about the data itself, about the min max of the data, uh, and type of data. So, and the number of records do you have? Does it match? So all that key information you can get, you can use it as best practice. The challenge we faced is to come up with one Excel file, 3 different tabs. We've tried several different steps, recommendations from Alteryx community, one of them being block until done tool. Tried that, Um, that process did not work. Maybe two files would work, and then the third one it would fail. So that step did not work. The second one, we tried a batch macro recommendation from Alteryx community that also did not produce the result we needed. Final step that worked was again from Alteryx community control container method in sequencing the output from one file to another shared in the same output file. So those are the main tips. We'll go over the recommendations from the data itself. Okay, thank you.